that we've covered all the logistics of the counseling relationship, the confidentiality, and other things like that. Do you have any questions or concerns?
As we go, do you mind if I take any notes about anything that we talk about?
No, definitely don't mind. If that's what makes you comfortable, I definitely am okay with it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that was all.
Okay, cool. So why don't we begin with you telling me a little bit about why you came here today.
So, I'm in the first couple months of my graduate program.
Okay, congratulations.
Thanks. It's my extracurricular activities on top of my core classes are really starting to add up and start to overwhelm me, and everything kind of hits at once.
Okay.
So when it's slow, but then because I TA 2 courses, the busy part of the semester is at the exact same time. So it's like both courses overwhelmed at once. Our publication that I'm working on hits at the same time that the busy part of the semester hit.
Okay.
I'm starting to do my own research, so on top of the fact that I'm doing all of these other things that I love,
right.
I'm also starting to do something for myself that is going to carry me throughout my 5 years here. And I'm really just hoping that I don't overwhelm myself to the point where I get burnt out.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Thanks for opening up like that. I know that can be really hard. So it sounds that you're really excited to take on all of these things, but you're also so stressed about that. Can you tell me about that kind of that excitement, but also how it brings a lot of stress?
Yeah,
elaborate
so,
more.
I really love teaching and feeding my students with knowledge about subjects that I'm so passionate about. And I love grading and meeting with them and all of that. It's just fantastic, and this is exactly what, and I'm pushing myself to get through these 5 years of my program because this is what I want. So of course I'm excited about it, but the time that all of these things take, the grading, the working on the pieces to write my publication, they all take so much time, and it's the simple things that take the most time that don't really get noticed.
Right. So it sounds like you're, again, really excited about your future. You're excited to be here, but it's those little things, like you said, and you being involved in so many things that are creating a lot of stress for you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about how maybe in the past when you've been busy like this, I know graduate school is busy in itself, but can you tell me about how in like a stressful time you managed to relieve your stress?
Yeah, so before I started graduate school, I just graduated from undergrad, so not too long ago, when I was working in my undergrad, I was involved in a lot of things beyond just my studies, so I've always had to learn how to manage my time very, very well. But I lived close to my family, so I was able to go home and spend time with my family, or they were able to come down for a couple of hours on the weekend without taking too much time away from my study. And during the week, I'm really great at tackling assignments and tackling my to-do list, but on the weekends, I really enjoy having time to myself to do whatever I feel like doing.
So what are some of those things that you set aside time for?
Well, I just moved to New England.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of different festivals that I can go to on weekends, and going up to Boston for a day or going over to Newport for a couple of hours. Those are things that I really enjoy doing, and then some days when I don't have enough time, I even like to, go to get a pedicure or spend just a little time watching TV or reading a book. Something that I feel like I want to do that day.
Right. So do you feel like those little amounts of time that you have are really beneficial to your stress? because I know you talked a little bit about, managing your time and being really great at it, but do you think you've been able to do that here as well?
Yeah, for the most part,
Okay.
I think that I do a pretty good job managing my time.
Okay.
And sometimes on the weekends I let it go a little too much, probably. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess when I get really stressed, it's when I talk to people in my cohort who are also first years, and they spend their weekends, studying or not. I guess not venturing out. I'm not really sure if they spend the entire weekend studying, but that's kind of how I make it seem when they're like, oh, well, we're just staying in this weekend. I'm like, oh, well, they're probably studying all weekend, and then I feel guilty about not studying.
So do you think that guilt kind of adds on to the stress that you're already experiencing?
I think it definitely adds on to the stress,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So do you think that, I know you said before that you do these things and you set aside those times to really explore New England. You told me you go to festivals. You're setting aside those times to relieve your stress. And that's what works for you. So do you think that maybe you're looking too far into your other cohorts, your other members of your cohort, and comparing yourself a little bit? Would you agree?
Yeah, it might be. That is probably what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially, we have different schedules, so I probably shouldn't be comparing myself to them.
Okay.
They're in different classes than I am. Our program's a little more flexible than most graduate programs, so we don't really take the exact same courses throughout all 5 years that we're here.
Right.
And we actually only have one course in common this semester. And our other 2 courses are entirely different. And so, a couple weeks ago when they were stressing about midterms, I didn't have any midterms. But I guess I was definitely comparing what they were doing on the weekends when they were getting ready to take their midterm to what I was doing that weekend. And that probably was going to Boston or going on a haunted hayride or something else. But looking at my schedule, I probably did have the time to do that.
Okay. Good. It's really good that you're able to step outside of that situation and realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't be comparing myself, especially because you're obviously doing what makes you feel great, what relieves your stress, and maybe not comparing yourself would eliminate some of the stress and allow you to enjoy your time. Would that seem right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So what other things do you think that you can be in control of managing your stress and making time to relieve your stress?
Well, I try really hard to work during the week. So I do get the hours on my weekends to enjoy, because I'm not the best weekend worker. I really enjoy relaxing on my weekends, and my relaxing is different than most relaxing. My relaxing is more going out and doing stuff and not really sitting at the house. But I do like to be able to have that time for myself. So during the week, I am more stressed because that is when I try to get the majority of my work done. But I watch Netflix sometimes. It gets a little bit carried away. That has been being reduced, on top of the fact that I don't really have time to do it anymore. I'm trying to force myself to reduce the time.
Right.
And then also during the week I try to work out. So I give myself a little bit of a break from my school work to go to the gym for at least 45 minutes to an hour a day.
Good. That sounds good. So you have 2 great goals there. Number 1, reducing that Netflix time. It seems like even though it's enjoyable, you realize that it's taking away from time that you could spend during the weekend relieving stress. Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also making time for the gym during the week. Is there any other goals that you wanna work towards, maybe, then that relieve your stress a little bit more?
Maybe I should try to stop comparing myself to my cohort members so much. That one might be taking me over the top with my stress. So.
Okay. Well, then I think working towards these two goals that you have right now, the reducing of the Netflix watching and making sure you go to the gym and get that exercise in. It seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like those are something that's manageable and really easy for you, and something that you really enjoy, correct?
Yeah.
As far as working out. Okay. Well, I think those are great and attainable goals. Do you think?
Oh
yeah.
So? Yes.
Good. So, would you mind repeating those back to me just so we're on the same page?
Yeah. So I'm gonna start working on reducing the amount of time that I watch Netflix, and try to continue going to the gym and making time for myself during the week, and then hopefully I'll be able to still enjoy my weekends and not feel guilty about doing stuff for myself during the weekend.
That sounds great to me. I just want to thank you again for really opening it up and sharing with me. I know talking about your stress can be really stressful. So thank you for that. And why don't we schedule a time, maybe in the next week, if it's not too stressful for you, to kind of check in to see where you are on working on those goals.
That would be great.
Okay. Will it help you reduce the stress a little bit?
Yes, I think that it will. Especially, I can give up a couple of hours a week of Netflix to meet again.
Okay, great. Well, let's plan to meet next week, and we'll see where we're going to go from there.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Boom! Boom. 11 minutes.
Boom! All right, let's take a walk.